Mr. Nichols? Ready? You ready?
I'll call the Thursday, July 2nd meeting of the DeSoto County Board of Education to order. And if you would please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda that you have before you this afternoon. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda before us this afternoon? Not your recommendation, Mr. Arthur.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the agenda.
Okay, based on the superintendent's recommendation for approval of the agenda, do we have a motion to that effect?
I make that motion.
Motion having been made, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second having been made, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay, ayes have it, the agenda that you have before you is approved. The first item of business this afternoon is the election of new officers. These ladies up here about to have fit to get this gavel. Anyway, it's been a joy, education, a joy, and a privilege to serve as president of the DeSoto County School Board this year, and we historically rotate this gavel on an annual basis. So it is time for a new president to be selected. Okay, nomination for president. We have Michelle Henley is in line to be the incoming president. Do we have a recommendation for Michelle Henley to be the incoming president?
I recommend Michelle Henley to be the new president this year.
Okay. We have a recommendation for Ms. Henley to be the president of the school board for this year. Do we have a motion to that effect?
Make that motion.
Motion having been made, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second having been made, all those in favor, aye? Aye. Nay, ayes have it. Madam President, you come here, like this gavel. Was that a 4-to-1 vote?
All right, at this time, we need a nomination for secretary of the board.
Pardon?
I said, do I have a nomination?
I have I'd like to nominate Ms. Angela as secretary for the board.
All right, having the recommendation of Ann Jolly as secretary, do we have a motion to that effect?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Okay, next we have the superintendent's report. Ms. Russell.
Thank you, Madam President. Two items on the superintendent's report this afternoon. First of all, I'd like to ask our Director of Plant Maintenance, Mr. Jerry White, to come forward. He will be giving us a construction update.
Thank you, Mr. Lawson, and good afternoon to all. Congratulations, Ms. Hinton. As we start on, let's see if I can get this thing cranked up. Here we go. We might note on the front end of this that this is more important today, this first reading, as than we've talked about in the past, and the fact that when we get to Lewisburg Middle School, I'll explain. So, we move into this and we'll talk about Hernando Middle School to start with. The building itself is going to go close to the softball field on the top right up there. This is where we were with the building on our June 4th report. As you can see, they're almost through with the roof. All of the metal has been put on to the roof deck and all. This is where we were at our June 18th meeting. As you can see, the roof had been completed, and they were setting the curves for the HVAC units here. And you can see the piece of equipment over on the top right. It's actually a bucket where they were setting the stuff up there where they wouldn't have to go into that hatch. And they was also putting their people in this bucket, putting them up on the front, so up on the top. So I thought that was pretty interesting the way they were handling that. This is where we are today with this. As you can see, the roof has been completely done, the HVAC has been set, and the bricking has started on it. The sprinkler system on the inside has been hung, the data and electrical has started, and the ceiling grid is being installed, and the first coat of paint or the primer is being put on the inside of this building. The next one we'll talk about will be the DeSoto County Middle School 8 classroom addition. This one in the very back of the building. This is where we were at the June 4th report of the building. This is where we were at the June 18th building, report of the building. And this is where we are today with the building. I'd like to back up one to where we just showed this one. 2 weeks ago, where we already had the metal on and had the roofing started. To this point here, it's not a whole lot of progress. I'm really a little bit disappointed that we didn't do any better with this building than the 2 weeks span. The next building that we will talk about will be the Hernando Hills Elementary, where we've got a 4 classroom addition. This is where we were on June 4th with the building. You can see that they were well ahead. They already had the HVAC set, bricking had been started. They were doing a fantastic job after they one time got it out of the ground. This is what the building looked like at the 18th meeting. This is what it looks like now. As you can see, the building on the outside has been completed, and they've also started the outside work. The sidewalks have been poured. And they'll be in there Monday with a bulldozer on the outside, getting the ground prepared to come in and put the sod. I'll show you a couple of the inside pictures of this building. As you can see, this is painting equipment here where they're doing the painting on the inside, and if you look through the hallway to the other side of the building over there, that's where they're prepping the floor to be to have a tile laid in. And this is a picture of that particular room. As you can see, they've got it prepped pretty well there, and they'll start putting the tile in this next week. If everything goes well in this building, like I think it will, I think they'll be ready to turn this building over to us by the 15th of July. So the next time we report, we should have a complete building at this site. Also with the sod and all that, so I think we'll be just about to go through it. The next one we'll talk about is the Lewisburg Middle School. And if you will, on this one, on the front wing, front left wing, that's wing A. On the front right one, that's wing B. On the back left one, that's wing C. And that'd be important when we look at the last picture that I'm going to show you on this construction site. So we kind of get this picture in your mind here that will mean a little bit more about how the building rests. This was what we reported to you on June 4th. The only thing we really got done was, the asphalt layer on the right side where we're gonna have car route lines lined up instead of putting them on the road. And also, we were doing a ton of dirt work here. This is what we reported to you on the 18th. On wing A, which is on the left side, the footing had been dug and beginning to be poured. We were beginning to start the footing on wing B on the right side there. Still have a lot of dirt work going on. You can see in wing C in the very back left back there, that's the plumbers back doing their job, so we could go ahead and get the footage dug and start pouring there. This is where we are today. You can see the progress that they made there. They've come a long way in 2 weeks with this. We got the curves forward in the front. You can see right there by the red pickup, you can see the little thing sticking up out of the middle there. That's where the electricity's been run. You can see it all the way around. The different stick-ups, that's where the electricity's been run for the outside lighting that we're going to put in. So they come along real well there. Wing A back to the left has already been poured. And it doesn't show real good in the picture, but that stuff sitting in the middle of the building, that's the door frames that's being put in. So they're almost through with that. You also can't see very well, but the block is started on the outside walls. And by the time we show you the next report on this one, since they got that one out of the ground, it's really going to show up really well, the progress that we made. They were going to pour wing B, which is over on the right side. They were going to pour that. They were going to start at 2 o'clock this morning, but the rain that we got yesterday afternoon stopped that. So we're still struggling to get this one out of the ground a little bit, but they're coming along with it in the groundwork. The dirt work has been done. And this is kind of what I was talking about looking at the first picture of where we were looking at the plans and going over the plans. If our plans are right, all of us will meet together in the middle when it's all said and done. So I hope we did a good job on the plans on the front end on this, and I believe we did. So this is the progress that's been made, and it's coming along and beginning to take shape now. On wing C back to back, I don't know if I mentioned this, but that's the plumbers and all, so I got that done, and next time we report, it should look as far along as wing B on the right side there. So it's beginning to come together. I'll back up there also and show you one other thing on that slide. Back at the very back, right in front of the green stuff back there, we put green dishes that's left. That area right there, that is going to be the practice football field for these guys. So that's what that is. But another thing there too, I wanted to mention also, I'm going to back up one more time. The other thing I want to mention, you can see the subdivision over on the left-hand side, and it's a fairly new subdivision, and some of them have swimming pools in the backyard and this type of thing. And I was just worried to death in construction on this with all the dust that we were disturbing and putting on there. I just knew that my phone was going to be ringing off. But you know, they've been real nice and hadn't got the first complaint. And what I can understand, some of them have had their houses appraised since we started this, and they're all tickled to death, so they don't mind. The next one, and the last one that we'll talk about today will be the DeSoto Central High. The building, of course, the one over on the right side where you see the trees. This is where we were on our June 4th report. You can see that they were putting the roof on the building at this point in time. All your HVAC units are sitting over on the right side. They're staging them, getting them ready to go up. This is what we showed on the 18th report. You can see the brick had started and the roofing was already completed except for the little strip right in the middle of the building. This is a picture of what it looks like today. The brick on it is about 50% completed. They're bricking, you can see the scaffolding over on the right side. So they started on this back side and going around. I say it's about 50% done. The HVAC, as you can see, with the bucket on the top right up there, they're actually setting the last HVAC unit at that point in time. What we're waiting on here now mainly is the electricity. You can see the little ditch that's dug out in front of where all the cars are parked up there. That's the electrical that's been run. The meter's coming in and it should be set, and we should have permanent electricity in this building probably in 7 to 10 days from now. And that's going to be a big deal. The windows are actually on site. for this building. And, so I'm thinking about that, and they will start installing the windows on this particular side of the building next week also. Show you a couple of inside pictures of this building, and, you know, we changed on the inside on how we do the wiring from the old days. Usually they just strung wiring up in the ceiling, and it was just laying everywhere, and it was a mess. You see the track over on the left top side, that's full of wires that's running there. It's very organized, and I'll show you another picture you can see a little bit later on, and I'll show you how we run it in that tray. So it gets the branch off, and then we do it with J hooks. You can see this is the first floor here, and when you've got the ceiling grid already in, that means that all your piping and stuff has been done. We've got the overhead inspection already done, and so we're waiting on power there big time. So as soon as we get power, we can move on. You see the little blue tape on the doors? That's the doors that that's the rooms that are already cleaned out. The mud's been scraped out of them, and they've been ready. They're made where they're ready to start putting tile and stuff in as soon as we can get the concrete prepped after we get the air. This is a picture of upstairs, and they're not quite as far along on the upstairs. All the piping's been run, but you can see the HVAC ductwork coming out on the wall on the right side. There's still like a little ductwork on the top floor. As soon as we get that done, we get our overhead inspection done, which of the ceiling grid in at that point in time. This is a picture of the room itself that we're talking about that had the purple on it, and as you can see, they've already put a primer on it, and the floor has been cleaned, and the window will be in there next time we report hopefully. So that's the end of our report this week. They've come a long way in this building in 2 weeks. They really made a lot of progress, more so in this building, I guess, than any other. So thank y'all very much, and I'll try to answer any questions if anybody's got them.
Any questions?
How much total acreage do we have for Lewisburg campus?
For the Lewisburg campus, Mr. Chase, do you remember how many acres it was?
Current campus?
No,
That's a new one.
New one.
90,
I was thinking 77, so it's somewhere 77 to 90 acres. But as you can see on the backside of it, we've got room to expand there. If we need to build another school on that campus, we put that in consideration of how we place this school. So if if it keeps growing in that area, we can't have another facility there.
You asked about other questions. First of all, I want to thank you for the report. Very good report as always. Looks like you've got everything on track. You and I had several conversations about cleaning supplies and things of that nature, but at the same time, I'd like our board to know where we are on that. The students return 5 weeks from today, and so we want to make sure that we're ready for that. So if you don't mind, just giving the board a little bit of an idea of what you've done there to get ready.
So we'll get this sort of right. What we've done is we've got our school. We had a lot of trouble in the spring getting supplies. We all know you went to the grocery store and tried to buy toilet paper or paper towels. It wasn't an easy chore. So we got real busy and got our vendors hopping, and we were able to purchase enough to fill up our schools at that point in time. And about the time we got the schools filled up, of course, we let school out for the remainder of the year. So that supplies is still there. We didn't stop there. We decided, hey, if this thing breaks out again, we might have some trouble, later on getting supplies. So what we did is we bought supplies and put them in our warehouse and take it. We've got a backup emergency taping with paper towels, toilet tissue, soap, this basic stuff that we've got to have for our students. And what our plan is just to hold that as emergency supplies and keep purchasing on like we usually do on a regular year, as long as we can get the supplies to keep stocking our schools back up. And keep it running and hold those emergency supplies, in Cape for as long as we possibly can. If we have trouble getting any stuff, of course, we can fall back on our emergency and get us out of the time slot. But this is stuff that will not go bad, so we'll hold it. And when this, deal is finally over with, hopefully, we can use that supplies up at that point in time, so it won't be a waste of any money, expense whatsoever. So it's just a backup emergency deal.
Great. And I appreciate all your attention to detail on that. Okay, great. Thank you. Because that is a big part of the return to school, and we're fully stocked, and not only that, we're prepared, because there will be a lot more of those materials and soap and everything else used this year than there ever has been. All right, we also have another report today, and this is from Mr. Jonathan Hodges. Looking forward to this time, he will give our quarterly energy report. I guess this one's gonna be a little bit different since the 4th 9 weeks.
Yes, it'll be, January, February, March, so it'll be before.
Oh, it'll be actually before.
Yeah, we
Oh,
don't
that's
have, we
right.
don't have all of our July bills in yet, so it's kind of hard to do that.
I guess that'll be the next one we'll be hearing about when we're out.
Yes.
Promise it's same.
Okay, first quarter, January, February, March of 2020. As usual, I start out with the pie chart, basically where the majority of our interest is going. And then after this next slide, I can probably stop. Yeah. That is from 2018, 2019, 2020 first quarter comparisons. You like how that is? So the first quarter is, we spent $80,657.48 less than last year. So that's a good drop, that's what we want. And we did have students in school, so it's not like we shut down yet. This runs all the way up to spring break, and then of course a few weeks after, so it runs through March. So we were in school, we were up. The average temperature, which plays a big role in this, is in 2019 was 46 degrees for these months. It was 50, so we got a little help there from the weather, it wasn't quite as good. So that's always. On average, for the entire campus, was 28 cents a square foot. That was less than a cent. That was a cent, almost a cent less than last year, and that 1 penny, or less than 1 penny, was $8,000. So that shows you how much one penny matters throughout across square foot. This next slide is your primary elementary units and buttons. And this one, it's kind of hard to see it at the bottom, there's a lot of the schools. But the second to last is Center Hill Elementary. 2 years ago, we didn't have the lighting project done. Now we have the lighting project done, and it's dropped the last 2 years. We spent $7,000 less in a total quarter at Center Hill Elementary. That's the one that we actually focus on and did our LED lighting. So a lot of that came from the electrical savings at Center Hill Elementary. And then this is breakdown for simplified. You can see that Center Hill Elementary also fell there, and that's just what we've done a decent amount of work. These are your middle schools. You notice all the bar graphs going in the right direction. Pretty much everyone went down in every way. And then this breaks it down to kind of give you a comparison as to the first square foot where we all symbolize, and they're all pretty close together. So we got a good school. These are your high schools. Same kind of deal here. Pretty much everyone went in the right direction. And this is your breakdown per square foot. And then these are your other areas that are left, which is transportation, your career techs, and then of course the county office. And still all in the right direction. And there's not really much here to tell you that, you know, we did well. We did really well. So if you have any questions about any of the schools,
Once again, great attention to detail, great report. One of the reasons why is because Mr. Hodges is available all the time for principals to contact him. You have him contact you all the time, don't
yes, sir.
you? Yeah.
Several times a day,
Right.
weekends, it's whatever.
Right.
We have stuff going on all the time.
So that helps us with efficiency, where if they realize that they've got the air running at a certain time, when it shouldn't be at night, if the event got canceled or something, Mr. Hodges is ready to turn the air off and make sure we save money. Great.
All right.
We appreciate it, Mr. Hodges. Great report. That concludes the superintendent's report. Ms. Beth? Just wait 1 second before we move on.
This time is the attorney's report.
Yes, ma'am, I have some potential litigation matters to discuss that would have to be in executive session.
This next order is the approval of minutes for the June 4th, 2020 and June 9th, 2020 board meetings. Mr. Usleton. Oh. I need a motion to approve the minutes.
Make that motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Next on the agenda is new business.
Consent. Approve consent.
I'm sorry, this is my first time.
That's all right. We'll have it along.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The consent agenda, items A through Y.
Madam President, I recommend to the board to approve the consent agenda.
With his recommendation, do I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Now new business. New business item A is bids for HVAC filter service supplies.
Yes, ma'am. Bids were open on the 18th of June, for HVAC filters and the HVAC filter change in service. My recommendation is that the lowest and best bid is listed in the bid tabulation sheet in your package.
Based on Ms. Williams' report, Mr. Usleton, do you have a recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the lowest and best bid for HVAC filter service and supplies.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next item of business is bids for interactive panels.
Yes, ma'am. Bids were open on June the 24th for interactive panels for the district. My recommendation is that the lowest and best bid from Power Technology Solutions.
Based on Ms. Williams' report, do you have a recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the lowest and best bid from Power Technology Solutions for interactive panels.
Do I have a motion?
So good.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item C are interactive projectors.
Yes, ma'am. Bids were open on June the 24th for interactive projectors for the district. My recommendation is that the lowest and best bid from CBWG.
Based on Ms. Williams' report, do you have a recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the lowest and best bid from CDWG for interactive projectors.
Do I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item is item D, bids for netbook parts.
Yes, ma'am. We opened bids on June the 25th for netbook and iPad charging costs for the district. My recommendation is that the lowest and best bid from Asset Technology.
Based on his report, we have a recommendation.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the lowest and best bid from Vivacity Technology for network cards.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. Item E, request to pay vendor purchasing rule issue at Lake Cormorant High School.
Yes, and I'm rushed to create a perfect graduation, like Cormorant High, what custom stove for their graduates. It is prior to us prior to having a purpose requisition. We've addressed the issue with the school, understand what they were going to do, and trying to fix it. Shouldn't happen again, but they're asking for permission from the board to pay her for the custom stoves.
Based on Mr. Williams' report, do we have a recommendation, Mr. Wilson?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to pay the vendor for the personnel rule issue at Lake Cornwall High School.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. Right here. Item F, school year 2020, 2021 school calendar.
Yes, ma'am. At our last board meeting, we discussed the need for the 3 staff development days at the beginning of the year instead of 2, so we had to add them on our calendar. And in your packet, which is online, you'll see 2 highlighted dates. So it's only 2 changes to the calendar that you approved in February. You've already approved last time the August 6th as the student's first day. The student day that we added is January 4th. That was a day which was going to be a staff development day. Since we have 3 staff development days at the beginning of the year now, we have to take away a staff development day. So what I am proposing to the board, recommending to the board, is to approve the updated school calendar, which will have August 6th as the first student day, and January 4th will be a student day instead of a staff development.
Based on the recommendation from Mr. Russellton on the updated school year 2020, 2021 school calendar, do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Ms. Henley, I'll be sending this out to our parents when we send out the return to school plan. We'll send it all out together at that time, just in case there are any more changes. As we know, things change a lot these days, and so we'll wait until we send the return to school plan. We'll send the school calendar at that time too, because we informed the parents after the last board meeting of August 6th. They know that.
Next item on the agenda is item G, certification of bank reconciliations May 2020.
All the council is reconciled with them.
Based on Mr. Williams' report, do we have a recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the certification of bank reconciliations for May 2020.
Do I have that in the form of a motion?
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. Item H, revised board policy IHA grading system. Ms. Haskell, welcome. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Got a new president and a new assistant superintendent.
It's a great
There you go.
In your packet, you will find a memo requesting to revise board policy IHA, the grading system. Within this policy are the exemption requirements for students in grades 6 through 12. We're asking that the board waive the absence requirements for exemptions for 1 year. Due to the CDC and the Department of Health's recommendations for students to stay home from school if they feel ill or if they're quarantined because of the virus, we feel that this waiver will be in the best interest of our students at this time. Students will still be required to have an 85 or higher semester or term average to be exempt from final exams. Again, this waiver is only being requested for the 2020-2021 school year.
Mr. Russellton, do you have a recommendation based on the report?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the revised board policy IHA grading system.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. Okay. Next item is item I, new board policy JNB, seal of biliteracy first read.
Also in your package, you'll find board policy JNB, seal of biliteracy. This is a new policy that will allow graduates of the DeSoto County Schools to be recognized as being proficient in multiple languages. This is being presented as a first read and will be posted on the website for public view. No vote is needed at this time.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Got off to a strong start.
All right, item J is our next item, and it is personnel, Mr. Alexander.
This now, personnel package this afternoon, pages 1 through 3 recommendations. Pages 4 through 6, personnel changes. Page 7 is a memo from the SCOS, our Director of Special Education, on an additional psychologist position. This is due to the increase in students that need to be evaluated. Page 8 is a memo from myself on an employee who is a part-time bus driver. Due to COVID-19, we're asking you to receive administrative leave from May 11th to May the 19th for the days that he was scheduled to work. This was simply an oversight. Plus, it's now coming to the board. Page 9 is a memo from myself on the Juvenile Detention Center Certified Employee Supplement, the $1,000 for the next school year. Each staff member that this would involve, each staff member that works directly with students at the JDC Center. This is the same supplement that we have requested and received for DCAC and Magnolia also. We feel it's comparative to those schools. You see the work they're doing. Teachers, special education teachers, social workers who makes that up through the 5 employees altogether that will pay. Page 10 is a memo for myself on the reclassification of a maintenance hourly position to become a maintenance tech position, and then also another additional maintenance tech position. Both of these will employ 230 days, and they'll be paid with district funds for the maintenance tech pay scale. Page 11 is a memo for myself, and this is for an additional data support position within the technology department, becoming effective July the 6th. Pages 12 through 13 is the job description for that position. Page 14 is a memo for myself on 2 additional positions for the technology department for 1 school computer tech and 1 interactive projector technician. These positions will work 230 days. Pages 15 through 17 is the interactive projector technician job description. Page 18 is a memo for myself on the addition of a COVID-19 supervisor position, becoming effective July the 9th. The supervisor will serve as the liaison between the district, staff, parents, and community with COVID-19 issues and will assist in the mitigation process for COVID-19 related cases and outbreaks. The position will consist of 210 days per year to be paid to district funds, salary amount of $74,941. Page 19 through 21 is the COVID-19 supervisor job description. Page 22 is a memo for myself on 3 additional teacher units for distance learning for the next school year. The additional teaching units will be added to an elementary, a middle, and a high, and they'll be paid on the 187-day teacher pay scale. We're also looking at the possibility of hiring part-time in these, so if we do that, it would be 2 for 1. So it would be 6 altogether if we went all part-time on that. Page 24 is, page 23 is a memo from myself on the request to change the start dates for 182-day employees to August 4th and 180-day employees to August 6th. This relates to the change of calendar that Russ went over, allowing our teacher assistants to work each day that students are in school. Page 25, 24 now. Request additional pay from the SCOS for 30 extra hours for med chairs to complete paperwork beginning 7/6/20 and ending 6/30/21 at a rate of $27 per hour. And page 25 is a list of those med chairs. Page 26 is request for additional pay from the Scale Eaton, our Director of Federal Programs, on an employee who will work at the bottom 25%. at Horn Lake High School. This person will work up to 120 hours beginning 7/3/20 and ending 8/1/20. It's a cost of $27 per hour. Page 27 is 4 employees that will be doing the same amount of pay, same dates. The only difference is these 4 will only work up a total of 80 hours each. And then page 28 is also the same request for 1 employee with the same job duty and the same dates paid. This employee will only work up to 40 hours per week. Page 29 is a request for additional pay for Ms. Twana Williams, our Director of Mental Health. It's on all high school counselors being allowed to work up to 100 hours at their hourly rate of pay for additional duties. Currently, they work the same amount of days as middle and elementary, so they have a lot more duties at the high school level that we taken care of outside those contracted days. Page 30 is a list of those high school counselors. Page 31 is a request for additional pay from Mr. White, Director of Plant Maintenance, on an employee who ended up taking over the grass cutting for Lewisburg High School instead of the original approved person, so he'll receive the money, which is $1,000 per month for June and then $1,000 for July. Page 32 is a request for additional pay for myself on an employee who will work up to 25 additional hours for attending directors and principal meetings, as well as assisted with COVID issues and mitigation requirements for related cases. This involves the position mentioned earlier, this gentleman officially will start to July the 9th, but he's already had to attend meetings and so forth, so we went ahead and allowed that to happen, and actually you approved that.
I ask you one question.
Yes, sir.
On the COVID-19 position, I mean, these people are not going to be terminated when that is over.
No, sir, we'll use attrition for that. We took, the person ended up taking an assistant principal, so he will return to the assistant principal position for the next school year.
And that's something that he understood. We had email correspondence, that he'd have documentation of that too, that he would still be guaranteed that position. Hopefully it will be a 1-year position. Yeah.
Yes.
Rodney, based on Mr. Alexander's report, do I have your recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve personnel as presented.
On Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Okay, now is the time in our meeting where we have a time for public comment. You have public comments. We have 5-minute time period. Is there any public comments we make? Anyone here for public comment? Seeing none, we will move on to the request to appear. Mr. Brown? Yours deals with use of facilities, so we will see you in executive session.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now I need a motion for consideration of closed session to determine whether the board should enter executive session for the following matters: potential litigation matter and a contract matter regarding use of facilities. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Mr. Chase will come back and inform you whether we stay in executive session.
Ms. Henley, may I have a vote, please?
Okay.
We had a motion, may I have a vote, please?
All those in favor of the consideration for closed session?
Aye.
Thank you.
The next recess meeting is scheduled for Monday, July 20th, 2020 at 10 a.m. here in the board. Thank you.